So I hope you must be aware about the ongoing crisis in the Middle East. The supreme leader of Iran has been assassinated by a rogue nation called United States of America. These are not my words. These are the words of Washington Post. Washington Post considers America as an evil nation. So,
And
do
they
you
are an
think
American newspaper.
they say they are independent? They don't work for any government.
But they
So,
are based in America, right?
yes, they say they pay taxes to the American government, and that doesn't make that they are affiliated to any government or any nation. They believe in independent journalism. That's what they do. So, and there are many other news outlets which have been criticizing the move of the United States. Basically, Trump is behind all this program that has been being run by United States Army,
And
and
these are probably new liberal newspapers.
uh, one is BBC, and Al Jazeera is not in that because Al Jazeera is always leaning towards Middle East countries. But the the problem is that Iran has, in retaliation, attacked her surrounding nations.
Hmm.
So, what is your take on that? Do you think what Iran did and what United States of America did was right, and what should be the way out for both the nation?
I concur with the position of India in such situations. Dialogue is the only effective way in which we could possibly solve this situation or this crisis. Now, um, Mr. Khomeini was known as a conservative leader. He was particularly known to be a man of iron will when it came to establishing the Islamic mandate. Therefore, to an extent, it's good that a fresh wave of liberal outlook will be breathing very independently, thinking that now they have at least some open space to express themselves. But I hope that does not convert into some form of chaos for that country, as in the case of Saddam Hussein's death. And as for America, America is not a rogue nation, but it is a nation of people who are extremely reactive for reasons best known to them. Because anything and everything that happens on this planet is somehow affecting those poor folks, poor chaps. And in the name of democracy, restoring the liberal order, restoring human rights, they have been the biggest violators of human rights, tramplers of human peace, of human order. Therefore, this is not new. And as for the Washington Post, that is probably a liberal outlet. Therefore, they are criticizing the conservative government led by Donald Trump. So there is nothing new here in this situation. Besides this, there is a undergoing political situation in which Iran was never in control of America, and America, as we all know, is always hungry of oil. So that oil demon ended up destroying Khomeini and him not following the larger world order.
So, what do you think would be the implications of this ongoing war, especially on
This
India?
this is at best a flashpoint. This is not going to.
And let me tell you one more thing, that our Prime Minister has not commented upon the ongoing war,
Why would he end up?
because
No, no.
just before the beginning of this war, he was seen with Prime Minister of Israel. So, do you think PM Modi is in cahoots with Israel
There is no question
and
of being in cahoots.
backing Israel
There is
in
no
the attack?
conspiracy. Indian interests are in no way in conflict with Iranian interests. In fact, we have our own interest in Iran, qua the Gwadar port. We have some other enemies that we need to take care of, at least from our perspective, we have our own situation boiling around, brewing around our own borders. So in this problem, I don't see that India had anything to do with the outcome, or at least the process of it. India has had a very fruitful relationship with Israel, because we have had a very strong historical context of Jewish history in our country.
Okay, let me interrupt you here, because the one implication that would be due to this ongoing
But
war.
I didn't take that fatherland, motherland witticism in good context.
Let me
That
let
was
me
not
ask
needed.
you a question related to economics.
Yes.
Why? Because the Strait of Hormuz has been choked,
Yes.
and India's oil supply is basically comes from that strait itself.
Hmm.
Now that the strait has been choked up, do you think because of this war, common Indian people are going to suffer, even if Mr. Modi does not say anything on
Temporarily,
this?
there will be some setback, but it's not going to last much. Because if Iran had to do something bigger,
Because now Saudi is also against Iran, because Iran has attacked Saudi.
they should not have attacked.
Dubai has been attacked.
They should not have attacked Saudi. They should not have. That was too brash of a reaction to
But
even think
intelligence
of.
says that it was Mohammed Prince Mohammed
Bin
who,
Salman. Huh.
yes, who called Mr. Trump to initiate the attack as soon as possible. Now Iran says because of.
Now, they may have their own religious differences that might have played some part in these considerations. And Iran is too.
Definitely there is an angle of Shia and Sunni. What would you say on that?
There is an action. There is an angle, and nobody could deny that. Iran is isolated. Iran is alone, and there are no two ways about it. And Iran has been trying to forge its own destiny through creating its own identity, at least as a nuclear nation. America has some issue, so America did what they always do.
I have been getting questions as to why this war has been started. What do you think are the reasons for the initiation of this attack by Israel, backed by United States, backed by Saudi Arabia? Why do you think it has happened?
See, there are 3-4 reasons that are enmeshed with each other. First, the rearrangement of the world order is already in transition, and there are parties that are willing to leave their older arrangements and form new arrangements. India is also trying to find its own space, trying to create its own group. The Middle East is already facing a very credible crisis, and when I say very credible, it means I'm looking at it from a very different perspective.
What would you say on Iran's nuclear program?
Iran has a nuclear program that has always been a red flag from the American, that has always garnered a red flag from the American side.
But there is no evidence to prove that Iran was in process of making a nuclear weapon.
I hope that Iran was doing it, because if Iran was just bluffing, then all of this uh, came down too heavily for them.
The same thing had happened with our beloved Saddam Hussein, who was very near to Indira Gandhi, and at that time
oil was the
also,
reason, na?
at that time also, weapon of mass destruction were
Anthrax, weapons of mass destruction.
they were
Nothing was
they were
found.
supposed to be found, but nothing was found.
Didn't I tell you? Oil is a very essential commodity. Number one. Number two, Russia has been standing its own fort for a very long time. Everybody knows that NATO is a failure. Ukraine has already wagered its future for a very distant period in the hands of people who do not realize and who do not have an iota of sympathy for the Ukrainian cause, the humanistic Ukrainian cause.
So
Everybody is willing to obtain their pound of flesh as per their agenda.
So one last question.
Therefore, this was bound to happen because America is also facing a credible challenge from China. China is economically superior, market wise, it's a very stable nation. Americans are a very destabilized country from within. Their leader is facing a credible crisis.
So one last
And by
question.
credible crisis, I mean crisis of leadership, because I think the leader himself knows that I am not in control of my situation.
So one last question. I want you to answer it in very few words.
Yes.
What is the last message that you would like to give to Iran in the scenario that his leader has been eliminated? They are like fatherless now. So what would you say?
No, one man cannot become the father of a civilization that is ancient. I hope Iranians, you preserve your culture, because what has sustained you is not a single man, not a cult of personality, but your culture, your civilization. You have been very strong. You have been a identity that has stood the test of time. Whatever path that you have chosen for yourself may make garner certain outcomes that may be favorable or unfavorable to you, but please protect at all costs what is important, that is the continuum of life, the culture that has made you what you were.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bhaskar, for giving valuable insights on issues of contemporary world history.